Welcome to our latest weekly special, Summer Travel 2020. So after months of going nowhere, unless you count between your kitchen and your living room, Americans are starting to travel again. TSA screening numbers are inching higher since bottoming on August 14th. Las Vegas has some casinos open. Orlando has open theme parks right now. But just because you can go somewhere, should you go? We are still in a pandemic, and any movement could help spread COVID-19.
So here to help us work through some of these issues and lay out the current state of the travel industry and the deals to be had right now, we have Lara Barlow, a general manager at TRAVELZOO. And Lara, the big question is, I think a lot of people have this pent-up demand. They can't wait to get outside. So what are you seeing demand-wise? Are people booking trips, and where exactly are they planning to go?
Hi there, great question. What we're seeing actually from our data is actually a bit surprising for us even. 81% of those members that we polled said that they would actually travel domestically this year in the US, and 41% said they would travel internationally. For those who are traveling internationally, about 2/3 said that they would book this year. So they still want to think about, dream about, and even book travel internationally, even when they're not planning to cross the border.
So international travel obviously brings up questions about flying. And I'm trying to get a sense, and you guys have been going to your members and talking to them about driving versus flying as well. We've heard, how hard it's been for airlines. Just today, American Airlines saying they expect the second quarter 2020 revenue is going to be down approximately 90% versus 2019. And then this week, we actually had the opportunity here at Yahoo Finance to speak with United Airlines about some of the changes they're implementing. And I want to take a listen to this about trying to make flying more appealing right now.
We've changed the boarding process so that we can promote social distancing when you're getting on the aircraft from back to front now. We've actually, when we get to a 70% load, we actually contact you and say, hey, if you don't feel comfortable with it being this full, you can always change your flight to another flight that might be less full at that point.
Is that going to be enough, the changes that the airlines are making? We're getting, news that they are adding back flights. What are you hearing from your members, and what are you seeing people booking?
Actually, one of the biggest factors for members regarding airlines and the comfort level with booking wasn't so much the safety policies. It was the ability to change or cancel or refund without financial penalty. So it sounds like people, while this is a concern, obviously, the policies and the social distance for everyone, the most important factor right now is the choice to change it without financial penalty for members.
So let's get to some of the deals that are out there. I mean, I think that people, you can go online, you can go on TRAVELZOO, and you can see it, the prices seem a lot lower than they were. Can you give us some high level highlights right now on what you're seeing that would just be unheard of, say, last year?
Yeah. Great question. So we're seeing deals for specifically domestic deals for California that are really strong. One of them, a 4-star Carte Hotel in San Diego for $159 per night, $100 in free extras, all of it fully refundable, and you can select your dates between June and December. That's one example. And for us, the interesting thing is that you not only have the great product, so the 4- and 5-star hotels, you also have it during what would be considered high season. And then finally, you have it fully refundable or changeable. So it's kind of a trifecta right now for the consumer because you can get all of the above and the kitchen sink.
And, Lara, we just talked about getting back on planes, but, your work shows that about half of your members plan on driving 8 hours or more this summer. And that's quite a long drive. And I guess, the question now is, does driving kind of take back share from flying? If we had seen, you look at kind of passenger numbers over the last decade, flying had become heavily democratized and kind of a default way for people to get around. Does driving maybe take back some share, not just this year, but kind of over the next several years as people adjust to whatever the new normal looks like?
Yeah, it's hard to say what will happen next year. Certainly in 2020, with 81% saying they will travel domestically this year and only 41% saying they would travel internationally. Even domestically, though, we have a huge number of respondents saying that they will they will drive now to destinations they would have previously flown to, especially in 2020. So, for example, 61% plan to drive to their next US vacation. 46% will drive 8+ hours, and 30% will drive more than 12 hours. That's a lot further than they would have otherwise. So that says to me that they are planning to drive instead of fly over the next year or even maybe 2.
Lara, when do you expect things to normalize a little bit? Because there's still hesitancy, and even though people are booking their vacations, they're not doing what they probably would have done if we didn't see this outbreak over the last couple of months. So when you're trying to gauge, I guess, customer behavior and what consumers want, when do you expect us to return to what we were seeing pre-COVID-19?
That is a tough question, certainly the million-dollar question. In terms of air travel specifically, or overall?
I think just overall, just in terms of, I mean, air travel is kind of the big part in this, because I think a lot of people, when they think of big summer vacations, if they can and they have the time, they can afford it, they would like to book air travel. They would like to go somewhere that's a little bit further, yet we're seeing this hesitation and also this concern, obviously, about safety at this point as well.
Right. I think that people will start to book international travel this year, and start traveling internationally at the end of the year and in earnest in Q1 of 2021. And in addition to that, it's likely that hotels domestically in the U.S. will have need, as we call it, low occupancy levels, well through the next 2 years, just because the U.S. has such a high proportion of the COVID cases. So international inbound travel may be negatively affected, which means that the hotels themselves may have additional occupancy and rooms available, which is great for the consumer, which means that there will be deals out there over the next year or so.
All right, Lara Barlow of the Travel Zoo, great to have you on the show this afternoon. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.